Introducing AirMeet, an all-in-one virtual and hybrid events platform designed for high engagement with an attendee-first approach. Now double your leads and revenue by customizing your event with interactive features, branding, analytics, and audience insights, while enjoying up to 98% attendee retention.
Welcome back to the Customer Success Festival. Before we get going with the next helping of inspiring content, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for helping us bring this event to your screens. And don't forget, you can access even more content to elevate your CS knowledge by becoming a CSC member. Simply head on over to our website to find out more. Now sit back and enjoy the next session.
Hey, my name is Mark with Roster. This is an old slide deck, as you can see. However, we are going to use part of it because I wanted to remind everybody of something. We did a very similar presentation a little while ago. And first and foremost, I want to thank Alex, the Customer Success Collective, for all the work that they're doing in putting this together. And I want to just say thanks to everybody listening. This is an incredible opportunity. I love talking about this stuff. You can hit me up anytime, connect with me on LinkedIn, and we can be friends. So I wanted to briefly touch base on one thing that we discussed in the past, and that is why sales skills should be part of the CS toolkit. And yeah, really what we're trying to do here is actually get to the next level of why sales skills should be part of the CS toolkit. Really, what we need to do is establish some guidelines. The organization as a whole needs to adopt a certain number of, call it a methodology, but messaging needs to be on point. We need to make sure that we are all communicating the same way. And with this, we're actually able to have a lot more success and establish what the real use and capability is of our product. So I've been around a few different companies. I was with a startup a little while back that was acquired by WeWork. Went to another startup called 650. 650 was an organization that helped with legal documents. They were backed by Wilson Sonsini, the law firm out of Palo Alto. And now we are with a company called Roster. We just rebranded from Wooly, where we help brands to establish a social media more of a social media ambassador program, affiliate program, anything to do with getting a unified communication out to the world through ambassadors or fans or people that like you, and rewarding them and measuring their progress as we progress. So without further ado, shall we? Okay, these are the things to remember. We're going to just briefly go past some of these that we discussed last time. We need to make sure the customer journey, there needs to be one unified front, one journey that everybody is on. We're talking marketing, business development, sales, implementation, customer success, customer support, service, technical support. All of that needs to be the same journey and the same message, the same story. Another one, sales and CS, they're unified. What they are trying to establish, sales, when they are selling this, whatever that is, we need to be backing that up with customer success managers. We need to make sure that we are exposing any new goals that they have, but also making sure that they are able to identify every step of the way the same goal that they established when they were looking at purchasing this software or this solution. So the sales skills are universal. So depending on how you define sales, we'll talk about that in a minute. And then the 3 skills that transcend all the departments, putting it all together again, briefly. We talked about sales getting a bad rap. And in my opinion, it's usually not the rep's fault. It's usually the company's fault in not establishing very clear stories, very clear messaging as to what the product can do, why we're selling it, what it can do for these brands or these businesses. Some of the issues that do become an issue is if we are driving them too hard and misaligned goals, that can lead to selling what we don't have. We've all seen it. It sucks. We get promising what we cannot provide, sloppy, bad handoffs, a sell at all costs mentality, etc. Sales is really just the same thing that customer success is doing. It is identifying goals. It is identifying what capabilities our solution has, aligning those and making sure that it's a mutually beneficial partnership. Okay, sales skill number one, the shrink. We call it the shrink just because we're going way deep, 5 levels deep, asking why. What are you actually trying to accomplish? What is the real crux of what you are doing? It's usually a deeper level conversation, a deeper meaning or reason behind why they're looking for a solution. Getting down and asking the why and asking, why are you doing it this way? Or what is the actual goal here? What department is driving this? Is it for your department? Is it for you personally? Is it for you to do X, Y, or Z? Once you ask those questions, usually you can get down to the real heart of why they are looking for a solution. And then what is the ultimate goal? Sales skill number 2, it's selling is the ability to just connect goals with your capabilities. So making sure that we can connect the dots. Customer success does this every day. We do this every day. This is the number 1 sales skill, in my opinion. It says sales skill number 2 right now, but that's in no particular order. This right here is what sales is. You have something, they need something, they have a goal, you have a goal. Let's see if it matches and see if it works. Third is the negotiator. So you have a need, or they have a need, you have a capability. How do we get it on the same page to make it work for everybody? So we rebranded to Roster, and that's a very pink slide. It's lovely. Here are some of our brands, some really cool brands out there. Look us up if you know anybody that needs to manage an ambassador program or wants to generate more revenue, leveraging ambassadors, leveraging their social media connections. Some really cool stories we have about this software. Okay, here I want to talk about the one unified message. This is what frustrates me more than anything else, and that is marketing telling a story that is completely different than what is being sold. When it gets into sales development, when they're making cold calls or possibly just following up on requests for demos, what is the message that they're communicating? Are they letting the customer lead that conversation to a place where we're saying, yes, we can do that, and it's more of a shoehorning in of capabilities? When it gets to sales, is that still a unified message? Is it staying consistent? Now, this is where customer success leaders, if this is not happening, if it's not unified, this is where customer success needs to take the reins and go to each department, go to marketing, go to the exec team. If you're not part of the executive team, which I hope you are, or have some representation there, make sure that all of the messaging is consistent from end to end. Beginning pre-awareness, the messaging that marketing is communicating out to the world just to get people interested. That messaging needs to flow all the way through renewal. So implementation, what is the message? Is implementation receiving this and it's completely off of what you actually do as a brand, what your capabilities actually are? That's probably the third biggest complaint I've seen with an unhealthy sales and CS relationship. Sales is communicating something that we don't do, or they've sold something that is not a good fit. There's a reason for that, and we have to go upstream typically to fix that. We usually have to go all the way to marketing or even the executive team as what are the goals that the company has as a whole that trickle down into the reason behind this messaging goes off course. Implementation, then to customer success, same thing. Implementation, if customer success is helping with implementation, it could be combined, but customer success, once they get it, is customer success being set up to fail because it's not a unified message from the beginning, and you're inheriting a customer that is very unhappy already, and the solution is not helping them to meet their goals. If that is happening, we've got to go to the beginning. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. Again, it goes down to support. It goes to your CRM. Is your CRM facilitating this messaging throughout? Are you able to document what the original need and what the original ask was from that brand or from that client? And then making sure that your company goals are aligned with that same unified message. So moving on. The real world example, I just had a brand, this just happened again. Sometimes some of my customer success managers are having an issue or somebody is wanting to cancel. A lot of times they'll take care of it. Sometimes they'll introduce them to me and I'll take the shrink route and the guide route and the negotiator just to reestablish a little bit of baseline as to why did they look to us in the first place. So going deep, one recently wanted to cancel. They said, we can't do this right now. It's not going to help us. We don't have the bandwidth and the time to put into this. So going deep, I was able to ask several questions. These questions got to the heart of the issue, where really it was they had somebody leave. They needed somebody to run it. They didn't have the money to hire somebody at this moment. And so we were able to understand what the reality of the situation was. We then went to being a guide and establishing what their original goal was. Luckily, we have their original goals documented. Any subsequent goals as customer success managers, we document those. So going back to their original goal and confirming that, saying, here is what your original goal was. Is that still something that you're trying to accomplish? We know that you're trying to accomplish this, this, and this. Usually they'll tell you yes, or maybe it's changed a little bit. Then we can start to negotiate. Okay, for this particular issue, they lost somebody. What we were able to do is take a little bit of extra work on ourselves, call it a professional service. What we were able to do is actually run the software for them, which didn't require much effort on our part for a little while, and get them to a point where they were fine. We could get them to a healthy place where they had the time to hire somebody. But it went back to making sure that we knew what goals they had. We knew the capabilities of our product, and they needed it and needed to meet those goals. The issue we found was about 3 questions deep, and we found that it was just because somebody left and they didn't have enough time or money to hire right now. So they are now still with us, luckily. Again, this doesn't work every time. There are all kinds of reasons, but using these 3 sales skills, if you want to call it that, which are really just customer success skills, this can get you to a place where you better understand and assure that you are getting to the crux of the issue. Okay, I wanted to talk about this. This is a little bit messy. Without a goal, if your client does not have a goal, you can't measure success. Now, a goal is one thing, like I want to have this happen. If you don't have metrics surrounding that, how are you going to then establish success, or how are you going to measure that success? So what sales does is, so in our organization, for example, they make sure that they understand a goal, and they do not progress that deal unless that customer has a goal, a quantifiable goal. Until they have a quantifiable goal stating it's going to save us X number of dollars, or it's going to help us generate Y number of dollars, or it's going to save us this amount of time. Until we have a goal that is measurable, we do not progress that lead. We don't take that to the next level and sell until we know specifically what the goal is with metrics surrounding it. Does your company and do your salespeople, in question 1, do you know and have listed all of the capabilities of your product or your offering? What we're doing is aligning our capabilities to their problems and helping the client solve their problems. We are not solving their problems. What we're doing is facilitating them. In most cases, they are solving their problems using our tool, using our capabilities. So if you do not have an established list, or you are not very clear, the salespeople, the marketing team, everyone that's messaging, everyone that's having a conversation, if they do not know the full line of capabilities, then they cannot do a good job at aligning those up to the potential needs of the client. So that story beginning from sales, or actually from marketing, needs to be a consistent message, and those capabilities need to be very clearly identified. This is what is going to help you not get those handoffs where somebody is sold on something that's completely different from what you actually do. So then what is the problem that the client is trying to solve? If the client is trying to solve a specific issue, do you currently have a way to document this in your CRM so that implementation knows exactly what it is, so that customer success knows what it is, so that support knows, so everybody knows this is what they are trying to do. They're trying to generate X number of dollars or trying to save this much time. If that's not documented, it's tough to come at that conversation with good presence of mind and knowing what you can offer and what assistance you can provide to help them understand how to match those capabilities with their goal. So if you don't have a way of documenting this and it's not consistent across the board and reaffirmed to the client every step of the way, I do recommend getting that done. Is this the same story? So with your capabilities, with what you can actually do, is this the same story that your marketing team is telling the world? Are these the goals that your executive team have put into place with these capabilities? Are these goals realistic based on what you can actually offer? If not, we have to head upstream to help fix this. Now, does your client have a goal specific to the problem? Again, if it's not a measurable, quantifiable goal, it's not an opportunity at our company. And that makes life so much better down the line because it's measurable. If they don't have that number, how are they going to get budget for it? How are they going to justify keeping budget for it? That's the biggest issue we run into. Sometimes we have somebody that purchases it just on a hope and a prayer, a wing and a prayer, and they have no idea like what they're actually looking for. They have no idea if they're going to generate any number. And then it's always, well, we just don't think it's working well. But we have nothing to measure that against. If you don't have that or not actively getting that and helping the client get that goal and get those metrics surrounding that goal, then in the future, you're doing yourself a disservice in being able to measure whether or not you are truly successful or whether or not the client is truly successful using your capabilities. Number 4, how does your capability help the client solve their problem? We talked about this, where we provide a software or an offering or a solution or a professional service, whatever that might be, to help the client solve their problem, to help their client generate revenue, to help the client save time, to help the client better fulfill their obligations to their clients, whatever that may be. We are helping the client do their job. That's why they're willing to pay us. So if we do not have that established and our capabilities listed out, then we are also going to struggle to match those and pair those up with the solution or the problem that they're having with the capabilities we have. All throughout the sales cycle, this is what our organization does. Our sales team, we say it out loud, and it's a very simple sentence formula. This is something that we can do in customer success, in implementation, all the way down this path. It's essentially, would having X capability, which allows you to do Y, help you to solve your problem and meet your goal of Z? Really, it's just insert that sentence. So insert what you do is having this capability, which allows you to do this, help you to solve your problem and meet your goal. The answer is typically yes, if you've done this correctly. That is such a powerful statement for them to agree to, for the brand to agree to, the client to agree to, stating, yes, that capability is exactly what I'm looking for. And I do believe having that capability will help me to solve my problem and meet my goal. This methodology right here is what we've built our entire business on, from marketing to sales to business development, pre-sales, pre-awareness, even in our messaging, to make sure that we are very clearly communicating the full aspect of what we actually do, the reality of what we do, so that the client can make an informed decision and be very clear every step of the way that, yes, we do this, This is your need. And because of this capability, we believe you'll be able to solve your problem and it will help you to meet your goal. So, talking about sales methodology and customer success, in my opinion, they are so closely aligned and so similar. There's almost not a gap there at all, and there shouldn't be. My opinion is a good salesperson is just using these same philosophies that a good customer success person is using. And that is making sure that we understand the goal, the true needs of that client, our true capabilities, matching those up and making sure that they have the ability to be successful. Now, I urge you to make sure that you are getting all of these established up through the chain. If marketing isn't telling the story the way that you are implementing, or if marketing is not telling the story the way that you are actually seeing your clients use this product, we have got to be that voice in the executive team, making sure that everybody's on the same page. And if you do not have someone speaking for your organization, for the CS organization, anything post-sales in those executive meetings, reach out. I'll help you with some best practices. It is essential that you have a seat at the table. So again, sales, we love you. Customer success, we love you. We're all the same, in my opinion. And all of these different capabilities and all these different messages that we are sharing really is the same type of motion. And it's really just about making sure that the client is getting out of the solution what they need. So thanks, everybody. Please reach out. Again, my name is Mark Higginson. You can find me. The company is named Roster, and you can find me on LinkedIn. Please reach out, connect with me, ask me any questions. I'm more than happy to help in any way. So thanks again. Nice to chat with you all.